everyone. Welcome to another beautiful evening with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. First of all, as you see, I'm going to be doing a part two of the anniversary, making 2 years that Live with Lloyd has come to the stage, so to speak. Okay, and it's been a wonderful experience. It's way beyond my imagination, way beyond my expectation. Normally, I'm very shy. I'm very good behind a mic. In front of a camera, I know how to handle that too. But on a regular basis, I wasn't too sure. And what I thought would be maybe 10, 15 minutes 2 years ago on July 14th turned out where now I'll have guests on for well over an hour. So it has been a lot of fun. And yes, although people think that, because of me, I would say yes in part, so to speak. But there's a whole lot of people behind the scenes that made it happen. So I explained on Monday, Jackie Barrios in Philly, her co-producer, Jazz Centilla, who now resides in Spain. And by the way, she does the newsletters, Jazz Centilla, that you get every month for those of you who subscribe to the free monthly newsletter. Uh, then Uchenna came on. He's in Trinidad. He's the one that inspired me to go on Udemy to also do the app that is now beginning to take traction. So there's a lot of people. And but before I get started, though, let me let you know that today's show is brought to you by the Sisterhood of the Traveling Spread. So just go to stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. It is literally right around the corner, less than a month from now, from August the 17th through August the 19th. Nina Diamond, um, Aquarius Maximus, her beautiful daughter, Jazz Aphrodite, King Simon, my buddy, and myself. And both of us are Aquarians. It's so interesting, the combination of Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarians. But it's going to be an interesting mix astrologically and numerically speaking. Um, Before I start, I do want to let you know that today is uh, please like, share, and subscribe. I always keep forgetting, so I'm going to try to do that. My moderator, Empress Rel, is encouraging you to get the likes up. And by the way, I want to thank you because on Monday, whatever the like amount was that the moderator was looking for was met thanks to you. All righty. So I think that's good. I know every time I do this, I make a mistake. You see, I got Monday, July 19th. No, it's Wednesday. Okay. I'll just double check next time. Wednesday, July the 19th. Ignore Monday. I'm sure my brother Westbrook says, okay, Lloyd, this is Wednesday, not Monday. Westbrook is the one that keeps his eye on me to make sure I'm not slipping with the numbers. That's my buddy. The sun is in Cancer. The moon is in Leo. It's a 5 universal month. Everything else is correct, though. 8 universal week, 6 universal day. Leo, Aquarius, Aries, and Libras are the ones who are doing well today. And Tauruses, I left out Tauruses, okay? I see I slipped again. But people that are born on the 1st, the 6th, the 10th, the 15th, not the 16th, the 19th, the 24th, or the 28th of the month. It's been a kind of busy day. It's been a day that, where you wear many hats. But anyway, I'm going to be taking your calls in a moment. But the more importantly, I want you to help me I want to thank these wonderful people that have been guests on my shows. Now, these are the people who has really added to the show. All the people you see. The nice thing about it is I've had people from metaphysics to dentistry to hair, Rose Bonner, to a little controversy with my buddy Dr. Umar Johnson. Um, uh, I've had dentists on. I've had a whole lot of people, tarot readers, psychics, near-death experiences. So for any of these people that has been on that you caught, that you would like to see again come on, please make note and send it to me. All righty. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated, as I would love to have them back. Anyone you see on here. So this is the initial group. I got them in alphabetical order, although I found that there's one or two that I missed. But these are the people that have made it possible for this show to be the success that it is. I just happen to ask a lot of questions. And this is the second half, laying everything out. And so, any of these guests that you saw that has resonated with you, that has from Queen of Food to Dr. Phil Valentine to Yana Woodhouse to Paris and Kimberly Williams, all of these people. And in fact, I wrote down some names. What I could gather was people wanted Brandon Smith back, Jazz Aphrodite back, my man Dominic Holmes, they want him back. But whoever you feel that you like, King Simon, that's given. My brother Rebels Bay, somebody mentioned his name. He will definitely be on the regular. And also one of my most oldest colleague, astrological astrologist, Khalia Washington, her name was also mentioned too. And where is she? There she is at the bottom left of the screen. So look at these names carefully. Those that you caught, those that you missed, those that you'd like to see, please submit the names. So I'm going to go back again to the first set to make sure. If you want to, just screenshot. All right. And I've had 19 keys on Brother Rich, Kafunya. I mean, if I saw call names, I got to call everybody, but it would take up some time. But I'm telling you, it is these cross sections of individuals that made it possible for the success of this show. And I would be remiss thinking I'm all of that, and then none of these people count. And yet they've really made the show. They brought some awareness to all of my viewers. And so that's all I'm interested in. So this is why I did a part two, because I kind of went kind of fast with this. But I wanted those of you who are watching this and maybe saw, oh yeah, I like that person. I like that person. Lloyd, can you bring this person back? It would be my honor and pleasure to do so. So let me do it the second group one more time. And okay, let's do the second group. And then I'll start getting to you, the callers. All righty. And so this is the second group. So please, please, please make note of it. Those of you who you would like, and I will make sure that they will be on. All righty. So, okay, now we did that. And I want to thank you very, very much. So let me get this off the screen. And I'll also give out my, people say I never give out information. That's because I forget. I've been to many places to speak and didn't mention my name as if people supposed to know me. I don't know where I got that from, but you know, some people say I'm the great so and so and so and so. I just try to be, and let me put it this way: it may sound weird. Just as God has given me this wonderful gift, He could also remove it from me as well. So I'll say 2 + 2 is 7, and we know well 2 + 2 ain't no 7, no kind of way how you slice it. So it is nice to know that I am very good at this, and that people love the way I do this. But I also try to keep it in the right context, that this is a gift that the Creator has brought to me. And let me tell you this: it's not just me. Every single one of you, the Creator has given you a gift also. It's just tapping into your gifts. But again, we are so busy, distracted. We're always walking with our heads looking down at a cell phone, or we're looking at the gossip of what this person is doing or what that person is doing, or getting caught up into all the drama and the mayhem, as against focusing on who you are. You cannot be nobody else. Joe Louis, the famous heavyweight champion born Taurus May 13, says you can run, but you can't hide. So what I'm saying is stop running from yourself and begin to stop, look and listen to figure out, what do you want to do? What brings to your gifts that you do? Now, I talked about, you know, that I'm blessed with nice parents that guided me. Some of you may not have had that experience, but that is still no excuse not to. Actually, those who have gone through the worst times growing up have wound up being the most dynamic people moving forward. I was looking, for example, Mike Tyson went through some things when he got famous. His father wanted to come out, and also Shaquille O'Neal. I was looking at another basketball player where, and so a lot of you who may have gone through changes and drama that may not have had the good fortune of having blessed parents like I did, and a beautiful brother and sister, things of that nature. Nonetheless, you have a divine right to be here. That is most important. And you are just as important as I am in the eyes of the Most High. And if you understand that, and knowing you have a divine right to be here, and knowing that God has given you a mind to think, I think you will find that your life will be better. And especially in this year that governs the law of attraction, that what we think is what we bring to us. So think success, think abundance, think fruitfulness, think prosperity, think beautiful relationships. But if you're walking around depressed, that's exactly what this energy for this year will draw to you. So again, we're in the year of the 7, 2023, that four numbers add up to 7, but it rules whatever we're thinking, that's what we will draw to us. So I think it's interesting that in this 7 year, which deals with spirituality and men of faith and men of the cloth, that one of the things I begin to see is a lot of reels of Reverend Ike, who used to be very popular in the day in the 60s, 70s, 80s, with his church on 175th Street in Broadway. For those of you who live in New York, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And what he would talk about is in the mind, the I am God, I am this, I am successful. Those principles are the same. So whether you listen to Joseph Murphy, the power of the subconscious mind, or as a man thinketh, or acres of diamond, or think and grow rich, the principles are always the same. It all starts here and here, and the creator will test you. Yes, he will. He will test you to make sure that if this is what you want, sometimes he throws a little dirt in the game. Okay. It's almost to kind of, if you really want this seriously enough. So if I'm standing on the corner and I'm giving out, say, $1,000, everybody will come and take the $1,000. But if I say, okay, for this $1,000, what would you give in return? Sweat, a little disappointment, some failures, some setbacks, some hurdles, some disappointments, some defeats, and whatnot. People, I think nowadays have this. I think this generation, Zen, Den, whatever it's called, is about entitlement. Even some adults are about entitlement too. Well, in the laws of the Most High, it doesn't work that way. And what you put in is what you get out. So if you want to know when your ship is coming in, the question becomes, did you send the ship out there in the first place? Because if you didn't send anything out there, why would you expect something to come back to you? It's like a boomerang effect. So anyway, enough of that. I'll get started with the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. By the way, I repeat, I will never, ever, ever DM you for money, DM you with anything. Now, maybe now and then in my newsletter, I'll promote like my app or something, but that's rare. That's very, very rare for me to do. But I will never be giving you an individual message like, yo, it seems like you need a reading and you need to step to the plate and give me a call. I don't work that way. I really, really don't. And in fact, 90% of the people will actually call me or by referrals. So to be right, thank you so much for wishing me um, a happy anniversary. And it's been nice. It's been very, very nice. I'm very happy that somebody said that, Lloyd, 2 years from now, you'd have this many subscribers, this, that, and the other. I said, you're right. Because I am really kind of bashful. When I tell people, they say, no, you're not bashful. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So anyway, okay, here we go. I'm now looking for some names here. Okay, I'm going to take names. If you got questions, first of all, we're going to do Hilda, because this is the first one with the birthday that came up. She says she finally got live. Thank you very much, Hilda. You have a birthday coming up in a matter of 2 days, okay, on Friday. And in fact, Friday is, now it all depends on the year. See, this is why an astrologer needs the exact time and the location where you were born. So For example, people born on July the 21st, in some instances, they are the last stages of Cancer. In some other instances, they are the very last stages of Leo. So it all depends. So since she is a fire sign, a fire number, I would put her or lean her more toward the Leo side. But so here's what I would say to her, that Hilda, if you are a Cancer, your key or important numbers are the 3, 2, and 7. However, if you think you're a Leo, your key numbers are the 3, 1, and 4. As a Cancer, you'll find that Thursday, Monday, and Fridays are your best days. As a Leo, you'll find that Sunday and Thursdays are your best days. As a Cancer, you'll find that the months of March and May, July, and December are very important to you. As a Leo, you'll find that the months of February, followed by March, followed by August and December are important to you. So it all depends. And this is why the astrologer needs to know that time. So if you could give it to them or her, that would make all the difference in the world. But nonetheless, though, you are in an 8 personal year. This is your year to make money. 8 is always about making something of progress and money and authority and achievement and growing up and reconnecting with your past by way of family reunions, funerals, weddings, christening, baby showers, whatever the case is. And it's also in an 8, Hilda, a time to do a lot of growing up. Okay. And we all need to do some growing up. I want to acknowledge Edward Opoku from Ghana. In fact, I used to do a radio show every week. Lance Scurv is his name, and he had a show in Ghana, and I was invited every Monday. And this was through Sister Kafunya that I've had as a guest on my show too. She would moderate and get us on and stuff like that. So to Edward, thank you very, very much. That's a great distance too. All right, so let me do Shanty Forever. Okay, she's October the 19th. Please tell me about your career. Well, first of all, you're in a 9 personal year. What I did was I took the month, the day you were born, added to this year, 2023, and it adds up to a 9. 9 is the fulfillment of dreams. Career-wise, normally you would have made an excellent supervisor, manager, director, head of a department. You would have done well in law, medicine, science. You would have been an entrepreneur. You would have been an innovator or a pioneer or an inventor of some kind in terms of concepts, inventions, and things like that. It tells me you don't take orders well, dear. Okay? So I know that in certain instances, when in relationships you're accused of being bossy or dominant or trying to tell them what to do, you're simply a sister that will speak your mind, speak your truth. And once they understand that, that's important. Your key or lucky numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. And you'll find that Sundays and Tuesdays are always your best days, as well as the months of February, April, August, and November. These are all very important to you too. So career-wise, this is a time to manifest your dreams, but the career will really start just before your birthday, about a week and a half before your birthday, late September into October of your birthday. You will then know that you're ready to head in a whole nother direction. All righty. So let me do this. This is TJ. Hers and his and her match. Okay. Yes, for the following reason. First of all, thank you for the donation, TJ. The reason is this. If you notice, if you look at their birthdays, what do they have in common? The number 6. And today is a 6 universal day. So in other words, one is born on the 24th, 2 plus 4 is 6. The other, TJ, is born on the 15th, 1 plus 5 is 6. If you notice, she is under the sign of Aquarius and he is under the sign of Libra. So they're both air signs. So they're both what they call air signs with earth numbers. So that means very logical, yet very practical. So I would say y'all should get along well. The only thing is 6s can be real stubborn. So if y'all both get stubborn at the same time, none of you are budging, which would be an interesting thing to see if I was a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, she is in, let me see, she's in a 5 personal year. So she's ready to make some change. She's ready to pivot. She's ready to move in another direction this time, TJ. As for you, believe it or not, you're in a 5 personal year also. So you'll have a lot more in common numerically and astrologically speaking than most couples I've seen come on to date. A, both air signs. B, both number 6s. C, both in a 5 personal year. And sixes tell me great taste. So if you two were working well together, y'all would definitely build a house, because eights and sixes are property numbers. When I see those numbers, they would prefer to live in a house if given a choice rather than an apartment. It also tells me, as I jokingly say about sixes, especially women, that everything you like in the store never matches what's in your credit card or in your pocketbook. And so, because sixes have nice taste, they are both traditionalists. They will both be a working education. If they both had parents together, had children together, they would make excellent parents. So I would say it's a good match. I would say it's a good match. Okay. Now, no one, no couple has, that's the fairy tales and they live happily ever after. There are going to always be days when y'all are not on the same page. Sun don't come out every day. And if you understand that, TJ, and if she's off one day and you're off another day and you're not on the same page, this is how you're tested. So when you look at our elders that were married 40, 50, 60 years, even longer than that, you can't tell me they didn't have a bad day. And you couldn't tell me they did it all predicated upon their zodiac signs too. But they believe in for richer or poorer, for sickness and health, for better or worse. Those were the vows. There were no prenups. They didn't even know how to spell the word. I don't even think it existed at that time. But they hung in there as troopers. They raised their babies, their families, and whatnot. So try to keep those things in mind too. Fast forward this 21st century, nobody want to be dealing with nobody because they be into their feelings. So anyway, that's it. To the brother from Ghana, he's born August the 23rd, which makes him a Virgo. So he is a 569 person. He's an earth sign with an air number, which means practical yet logical in his appearance. It also tells me he would always know somebody who knows somebody. And if you notice, he is a 555 across the board because he's born in the sign of Virgo, which numerically is ruled by the number 5. He's born on the 23rd, and 2 plus 3 is 5. And if you pick up on the year he's born in, 1994, as the 23, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So it tells me, Edward, you will always have a life of movement, variety, life's experiences, constant change, multifaceted, multi-talented, multidimensional, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So Empress Rel is saying, please get the likes up. All right. Do that. And one day they got to explain all this to me about all these likes. I like y'all too. But, it's like that. Okay. And this is Khalia Washington. In fact, I mentioned her. We go back decades, literally in every sense of the word. So when I was talking about my metaphysical colleague, Khalia Washington, and Revels Bay, we all have known each other over 30 odd years. And so she is one of the best. And yes, I'll be this Saturday out the Source of Knowledge. I hadn't even thought about that. But this Saturday, I will be out in Newark, New Jersey. Right there is the bookstore is called the Source of Knowledge. It's an all-day event. And it's definitely going to be a treat place. That's where it's called. But all you got to do is look up the Source of Knowledge. It is a bookstore. And talking about a bookstore, if you want some books for your children, I'm talking about of all ages of color, this is the store to go to. So I look forward to seeing you there too, Khalia. And for all of you in the Newark area, the Oranges, Newark, whatever the case is, I look forward to seeing you this Saturday on the 22nd. Thanks, Khalia. I forgot all about mentioning. I keep forget to mention where I am and all this other stuff. Won't you let us know and whatnot? Okay. She says she wants 19 keys on, so I'll make a note of that, because that's what I'm doing now. I'm making note of the people I'm going to reach out to personally, because there's some that I have preferences for too. But my key is that what preferences you have for yourself. All right, so let me go back. And again, I want to thank all of you who have been so nice in your expression of wishing me congratulations. And you need to congratulate yourselves, because a lot of you, like the Williams family in Chicago, Stephen and Carol Williams, have been practically with me since day one. And in fact, he said he was with me somewhere else even before I came here. So thank you to the Williams family, right? And my buddy, Westbrook. Okay, Westbrook keeps an eye on me, making sure my math is tight. So let me do Jennifer. Jennifer is born October the 16th. So she is a air sign with a water number. Air represents people symbolically that's always in their heads, always trying to figure out things, always using their logic, their reasoning. But then she's a water number too. That means she's also into her feelings. And she would be the kind of person that would go deep, go down the rabbit hole. And you can't say, Jennifer, I'm in love with you, because she got to be prepared to say, well, why, Strayhorn, are you loving me today? Because number sevens normally don't take words like that lightly. Okay. If you say that, why are you saying it? Explain. And they're not trying to take you through changes, but the nature of a seven is always to know what the cause and effect is. There's one thing to see something happen in a reaction, but with seven people, as a rule, born on the 7th to 16th or the 25th, they want to know why that reaction was caused the way it is. And that's why they make investigators, analysts, researchers, inventors, explorers, spiritualists, metaphysicians, things like that. So they're always looking for something else. But by the way, your key numbers, and for you, this is your love year, because your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And you happen to be in a 6 personal year, Jennifer. So this is a year to go back to school. I noticed with women, normally when they're in a 6 cycle, they do something with their hair, their appearance, their weight, something they do, their wardrobe. They begin to kind of go for a makeover. So if you've been in a makeover mood, the hair looking different, took a course, finished the course, about to sign up for a course or something like that, because in a 6, they're always a work in progress too. That would not surprise me at all. So since your numbers are the 7, 2, and 6, you'll find that Mondays and Fridays are your best days, and all the best too. Okay, now this person, Gwen, is totally the opposite. She said she's a master number 22 life path. So now I'm going to show you how I determine that. And so what I'm going to do is 1967, right? 1623. Really? 8, 9, 7, 9, 9. That would be right. Excuse the tackiness, but there it is. She is correct. Her life path or destiny path is a 22. Now, the way I explain it, in numerology, your birthday tells me why you are here. It is your name that tells me what you know. So in her case, the numbers go from 1 to 9. Then you have two master numbers, 11 and 22. I explained that getting a person in the master number 11 destiny is like having a master's degree, where a person with the master number 22, like Gwen is, that would be like having a PhD degree. But as there's a saying, for whom much is given, much is required. So because you got it, and it all depends on the attitude, because a person can have all the talents, gifts, skills, and abilities in the world and don't know it and go to sleep. And then you got a person who has maybe next to nothing, but they have the will, the drive, the determination for what little they have to make something great of themselves. So this is very important. So it's nice to know that master number, but what do you do with it? I will say this: you being a fire sign with a fire number, that means if you played your cards correct, A, I know you don't take orders well. B, I know you've had some authority over other people. C, you've always been old in a sense, not old by age at geriatric age, that sense, but age in your philosophy, age in your wisdom. And even as a young girl, you always attracted much older relationships. Now, whether you got involved with them is a whole nother thing, but that didn't keep much older men from sweating a sister too. Okay. It also indicates very philosophical. 9 as a rule like to carry or be masters of their fate and carry their own destiny. The power of 18 is called the power of mediumship, the ability to go in and out of the visible and invisible world. So you have those magical gifts too. And in fact, King Tut out of Egypt, or Kemet, came out of the 18th dynasty, which was considered that period in the dynasty where magical works and techniques were developed. If you look at this guy, Edgar Casey, and his Casey books, he smoked cigarettes all day, but when he went into a trance, the guy transformed himself. And to this day, they got a lot of books about some of his predictions, but he was born on the 18th. And it says the power of mediumship, the ability to go in and out of the visible and invisible world. It's like the material world warring against the spiritual side of man's nature. By the way, Gwen, your lucky numbers are the 9, 1, and 4. Your best days are always on a Tuesday, then a Sunday, and then in a minor way, a Thursday. And it also indicates that more than likely you either married, dated, or went out with a man in uniform, whether law enforcement, military, construction, fire, security, a mechanic, machinist, something, or a person who handles tools and machines or instruments, or you yourself, Gwen, may have gone into that too. But anyway, thank you very much. And you are correct. You are a master number 22. But you see how I got it. I put the month at the top, the date underneath that, the year underneath that, added my columns down, added across, and it came out to 1993, which is 22 all day long. Thank you very much. Thanks, Gwen. Okay, so let's see. Let me it was a 7, 2, and 6, but in the course. Okay, now this is Jennifer B. She says, I'm confused because you said my numbers are the 7, 2, and 6, but in your course I took this year, it says the 7, 2, 1, and 4, and the disharmony numbers. If you gave me the birthday that I said October the 16th, your numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. Now, I don't know what happened, what part you may have looked at, but anyway, we'll have to figure that out. And what you do, please, is maybe hit me a note. I'll put a banner where you can get in contact with me because I'm curious. That's not something I would say. 7 and 2 are your numbers. If you were October 25th, I would probably say it's 7, 2. I still say 7, 2, and 6. So I don't understand. But in my course, if I said it, there must have been some other things taken. So because I have no idea which it may have been, it's okay. And it's interesting. Gwen, that I just finished reading August 18th, she said, me and my ex-husband were military. Thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, and I don't know this woman, and this woman don't know me. But what I'm saying is when you master the art of studying the physical side of these numbers, they act as a guide to guide you to be in the right place at the right time in perfect harmony with the universe. That is the goal. Everybody knows about being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but what about being in the right place at the right time? That you want to know, that you need to know. So here we have a person born on the 22nd, so there's no fudging. That's it all day long, and they got a birthday coming up on Sunday, and Sunday's one of their best days too. So Cecile, happy birthday coming up. It should be a wonderful, wonderful day for you. You are in a 9 personal year, though. So it means a year where you got to clean house. You got to clear the deck. You got to let bygones be bygone. You got to put old business behind you and focus on the manifestations of what you want for the balance of the year. And it tells me, since your birthday is approaching on Sunday, that over the last month and a half, you've been in what is called the critical stages, according to the Rosicrucians. See, in numerology, the personal year goes from January 1st to December 31st. But in the Rosicrucian philosophy of numbers, they go from birthday to birthday. And with the Rosicrucians, they do it in 7 divisions, and each division is 72 days in length. So coming back around to Cecile's birthday, which is now, she has been in her critical birthday. What's today? The 19th, the 20th, 20th. So about the last 47 days. If you've been stressed, my dear, or challenged, or like what is going on, that would make sense because according to the laws of the Rosicrucians, you have been in your critical cycle. However, on the day of your birthday, coming up on Sunday, the 22nd, I think, was the 20, what's the day? The 19th, the 20, 21st, 20, Saturday. Excuse me, I got excited. Saturday, okay? So coming up on your birthday, the day you start your birthday, you start the cycle all over again. So the first 52 days, this goes for each and every one of you out there. Whenever your birthday starts, count that as day 1 and count forward 51 days, which is a total of 52 altogether. That is called your reputation cycle in the laws of the Rosicrucians. And what that simply means is what you go after, you're likely to get. So all you got to do is sit tight. Don't do anything crazy because you're coming down the home stretch. It's almost like you rush and then trip just before you cross the finish line. Don't do that. Just take your time. Don't let nobody sweat you. But on the day of your birthday, on the 22nd, celebrate it because now you start a brand new 72 or 52-day cycle. And then the second 52-day cycle and the third 52-day cycle. But leading up to now, I would say you've probably been stressed. But your key numbers, though, are the 4, 1, 2, and 7. You have 4 numbers versus a person with 2. You are Leo master number 22. And in astrology, Leo rules the master number 11. And in astrology, Aquarius rules the master number 22. So that means you have a Leo energy with a Aquarian type of dynamics in your chart too, if astrology looked at it. But nonetheless, you have 4 numbers in there, the 4, 1, 2, and 7. And you happen to be in a year where you need to wrap things up, bring things to a close, but focus on some of the things you've been putting on hold and that you need to get done for yourself, for your own edification. All righty? Thank you. Okay. Thanks, CJ. He said, thanks for the reading. Now, this is Serge. Okay, Sergio. All right, my man. He's born on 6/6/1985. And what happens is that he is an air sign with an earth number. Now, 6s are very judgmental. When I say that, not in a negative way, but they seem to know how to judge how things are likely to turn out. They're likely to be good judges of a person's character too. So I could be standing next to Serge and a person coming to protest and he's in a shirt, suit, tie with all these so-called outward trappings of legitimacy. And Serge will say to me, man, don't get straight. Don't give that cat your money. There's something about him. There's a thing about a 6. So when they talk about the 6th sense, I would say Serge indicates that. His birthday also indicated he was probably a crowd pleaser, teacher's pet in school. He would have made a great athlete, a coach. He would have done well in anything with service, an artist, a singer. The brother is very, very talented. It's what all of us got tremendous gifts and skills and abilities. It all depends on what you do, but most of us don't do with what we got. So that's why I be fussing sometimes to kind of like say, yo, don't be admiring me. Don't be admiring those people. Begin to look under your own feet. That's why Earl Nightingale talked about the acres of diamond. They're right underneath your own feet are probably diamonds that you need to just look and polish and hone and make a fortune for yourself. So it also indicates, so with 6s, though, sir, nothing personal, not you, but 6s are known to have control issues because they like things tight. They like things so. So if you've been accused of having control issues because you like things in a certain way, that would be about right. But anyway, your key numbers are the 6, 5, and 9, and your best days are always on a Friday, a Wednesday, and a Tuesday working backwards. Not Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, but in your case, Friday's always the top dog, then Wednesday's the second, then Friday's the third. And 6s normally suffer with allergies, but this year you happen to be in a 1 personal year, so that means this year to break new grounds and do some things new with yourself for a change. And happy belated birthday last month too, Serge. Okay, it's all right. Okay, we have Ray Brown, and Ray Brown is a Libra 8 person, so that means air and earth, reasoning and practicality, logic, and the power of common sense. So normally this combination, and in fact, he's born in the year of the 8. So if he says a 7, no, you would be, he says equals 43. No, I would say Ray Brown equals 44, not unless he did his name under the Pythagorean system. In my head, Ray is a 4. Brown is a, let me see, what is that? Okay, that's 2, 4, 6. Brown is, how we do this math? 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Okay. I don't know how you got to 44. I don't know how you got to 43. But I'll say this in essence, though. Your birthday, the month, the day, and the year you're born says your destiny or life path is a 8. Okay? Do the math. The fact that you're born in 1979, which adds a 26, which adds to an 8. And then the month and day you're born, January the 9th. So you'll definitely have an 8 destiny. So that means along the course of your journey in this life, Capricorns, Aquarians, Librans, and people born on the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, the 22nd, 26th, or the 31st will be of influence. And you've always had this maturity. And your birthday also suggests, Red, too, you've always been out on your own. And so what's interesting, your name is a 4 and your birthday's an 8. And sometimes 4s and 8s are numbers of fate or destiny. So let's say you're married. That may not have been the person you had planned to marry, but as fate or destiny happens, that's who you wind up being with. Let's say you were going to go into this career or this field of endeavor, but as fate or destiny happens, you wind up going in another career that you might be presently doing now. But I don't care. Nonetheless, your numbers are always the 8, 6, and 3, and your best days are always on Saturday and Friday and Thursday in that order. All righty. So let me just go back a second. I'm going to take Angela Patterson. Now, she is December 6th. So she's a different type of 6, where my man Sergio was a air 6. She's a fire 6, okay, which is a totally different energy. So she brings to the table a passion, a proactive attitude, and yet a very down to earth demeanor, a practicality. Normally, this combination makes teachers and artists and social workers. They tend to do well in banking, real estate, law, government. This year, they're in a 7 personal year, so they're about being reflective about their lives, how they've done things. And if I'm not mistaken, yes, you are in a 5 personal year. You are absolutely correct, because the year you're born, 1967, adds to 23, and that's a 5. And then when I took the month and day mentally, that means you're in a 5 destiny. So it tells me in the course of your journey, Virgos, Geminis, people born on the 5th to 6th, the 14th to 15th, the 23rd, 24th will be very important in your life. And it also indicates, although your path about change, your birthday is about stability. So you gotta want to have the best of both worlds, so to speak, a love of travel, but with your numbers being the 6, 3, and 9, which are all falling within the artistic or creative chord, I would say you would do well in anything dealing with the arts primarily, which you may have thought about as a young girl, or you would do well in business like law and real estate and banking and working for the government, or do well in the social services, teaching, coaching, life coach, therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, anything where you can be of service to people. That's where you shine. And it tells me you are a lifelong student, Angela. And if I'm not mistaken, the name Angela adds up to 18, which means you too, by your name, will attract those under the sign of Aries and Leo and Scorpio, or men in uniform at some point. All righty. Okay, let me go to King Tan. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. They are February 25th. Now, this is a nice combination. They are a water sign with a water number. So now, the rule is sometimes too much of can be just as bad as none of. But in this case, being a water sign with a water number, because 7 rules the sign of Pisces anyway, and then the minor way the sign, no, rules primarily Cancer, and then the minor way the sign of Pisces. So your key numbers are the 7, 2, and 3. It tells me you're very reflective. You always like to go down the rabbit hole. You like to be your own best company. You can be very sarcastic if they rub you the wrong way on those days when you don't feel like being bothered. It indicates you don't have an open door policy as a rule. If you ever talk to a number 4 person or number 7 person, don't call yourself surprising them by knocking on the door, because the surprise is they're probably not going to answer the door. 4s and 7s, for whatever reason, tend to be the loners. Not in a negative way, loners like they be destructive to society, but they just like to be their own best company. And they, just being around their own selves, they're very happy with just being alone. So during the shutdown of March of 2020, when nobody could go out other than to the store or whatever the case is, King Kong probably had no problems at all. Right at home, whatever the case is. And me being a 7, you see all these books behind me? I had a whole lot to focus on. Okay. So this is the same thing. But your key numbers are the 7, 2, and 3, and Mondays and Thursdays are your best days without question. All righty. And 7's worries. So don't worry about that. This is Carol Williams. She says, nope. She says, thank you from Lloyd, my husband. We saw you on Lance Curve. That was when I was in. Thanks, Carol Williams. They're the ones out of Chicago. I think that's his Mrs. Stephen Williams' beautiful wife, who is born. I think she's the one that's born. He's born June the 25th, and she's born June 11, November something. I know they're both water signs, which is interesting. Yeah, but I would do my shows every time out of Ghana. So anyway, thanks, Carol. Um, this is Gabriel Bryan, Sagittarius here, born with a twin on December 18th. Okay. Now here's the difference about the twins. A, what was the name? Was it paternal twins, identical twins, twins meaning was you the girl, he the boy, were you both girls, and if so, who came first, who came last? And then the name can be, see, and here's the thing about twins, even identical twins. Normally they don't have identical names. The only one I've heard, although they don't have twins, is former boxing great George Foreman. I understand all of his boys was named George. Somebody need to look that up. I understand even he called his dog George. So when he said George, everybody like kind of like jumped to attention. And so it's very, very interesting. People have very interesting careers. Even when one of my clients, Wesley Snipes, he says all his family, all the men of Wesley Snipes, except they have a different middle name. See, so it's just everybody has their own history. The point is, stop looking at everybody else and focus on you. That's the point. And see what you do. See what you bring to your own table. Okay, they talk about all this. I don't know where this thing come from. Late everybody bring to the table. What do you bring to your own table? Your own self. These are the things that are very important. But back to you, Gabriel. It means that you're a 5 sign with a 5 number. And I think I read another person born on December 18th. But anyway, your numbers are the 9, 3, and 6. This particular year, you happen to be in a 1 personal year. So this year says take charge, which is very easy for number 9 in the first place. Determine what's in your best interest. Although normally 9s are very generous to a fault, this year says do focus on what is best for you and you first and foremost. And then you'll find that next year you're going to have to be a little bit more tactful because you'll be going into a 2 personal year for 2024. Actually, your best year is going to come in the fall of 2024 into 2025. 2025 adds up to a 9, and you'll be in a 3 personal year, which matches your second best number because your numbers are the 9, 3, and 6. So knowing that, all you got to do is get what you want this year, be patient and diplomatic and persuasive and charming next year, and then knock them out the year to follow in 2025. Okay. So you heard it from here. Okay. And all this I can prove numerically too. See, so the guy said, well, Lloyd, he sounds all right. But Gabriel, trust me, that's how it's going to go. And in fact, everything goes in cycles. And I can tell you exactly how it's going to go. It's going to happen very much in the move you made in 2014 when you had to stand on your own. In 2015, you had to be a little diplomatic and walk on eggshells a bit. But by 2016, you were off to the races. Think about it, okay? Anyway, and so what I do is your past can sometimes determine very much your future, if that makes sense. I want to go to Winter Bell, the Lady of the Scribes. Thank you so much. Her birthday is February the 6th of 2000. Next month is artist residency in Peru. All righty. But that makes sense because see, 6 normally are your artists, your singers. 6 rules the vocal cords. They rule your artists, your painters. Michael, what's the guy's name that paint the Sistine Chapel? Michael, I'll get his name in a minute. But anyway, he was the number 6. Okay. So they do well in the arts. They do well in business. They do well in service. So more than likely, she's taken hers to the artistic level. Normally, that's in the case in the younger stages of 6s when they're in those 20s and whatnot. They want to go into acting and painting and singing and theater and dance and things of that nature as they mature. And then they late 20s, 30s, then they want to go into the area of service, lawyers, doctors, you know what I'm saying, realtors, bankers, stuff like that. And then as they go past that, then they wind up giving up service, working in hospitals, counseling, social work, mentoring, all those things. But the one thing I like about the 6s, they're always a work in progress. And you have reached your 23rd birthday, which tells me next year, when you reach your 24th birthday, because 2 + 4 is 6, I would hedge my bets with you and say that whatever you're going to do next year is going to just be out of this world, probably way beyond your imagination. And you know who's going to help you too? Very influential women, because women have always been influential in your life anyway. Everything about your birthday indicates that. From a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, a sister. I don't know if you got a daughter yet, but when you do, she will take on a turn and be influential in your life too. And also take very sensitive and finicky about your eating habits and dietary laws too. And you happen to be in a 6th personal year. Your numbers, by the way, are the 6, 2, and 7. So next year is going to be important since you'll be in a 7th personal year. And your best days are always on a Friday and a Monday. All righty. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, Kimberly Joyner said this is interesting. She says, this question is for everyone I know. He said the personal year is like the grade, but what does each grade, what is the lesson for each grade? Well, for example, if you're in grade 1, it means learning how to be independent, to be a leader. If you're in grade number 2, it means to learn how to gather your forces and be a peacemaker and bring people together. In a 3 grade, that tells me you bring out your creative and imaginative best. In a 4th grade, you learn how to lay the cornerstone or foundation of things that are important. If you're in the 5th grade, it means knowing how to deal with change. In fact, the only thing that's constant in life is change anyway. If you're in the 6th grade, it is about learning, always being a work in progress, family, education, health, nutrition, all those things. In the 7th grade, it's about learning the gifts of analysis, research, investigation. In the grade number 8, it is about dealing with those material things in life, finances, things of that nature, business, and those kind of endeavors. If you're in the 9th grade in the School of Life, it means being the humanitarian, being the motivator, bringing out the best in people, being global and international. If you're in the Master Number 11 destiny or grade, it simply means raising your kundalini, as they used to say, focusing on bringing things to a very high level beyond the average way you think. And if you're in a Master Number 22 grade, okay, it means taking ideas and concepts that you hear, see, and take them to the level of reality and making it real, where they're touchable and tangible, where you can examine them in the physical world. This is why they refer to the Master Number 22 as the Master Builder, okay? And in fact, there used to be an architect here in New York that all the roads, the highways, his name was Robert Moses. He was born on the 22nd, which is 22. So all the highways just running throughout New York and Long Island and connecting all kind of ways. He was the one that was the architect behind that. But that was way back in the day with Robert Moses. Anyway, so hopefully, Kimberly, now I know that summed that up too fast, but it's okay. Lisa Fox, I messed up my birthday date last time. My name is Salika. Welcome to being human. We're going to make mistakes. Let me tell you this. One of the things that people get caught up, they must think they're mistake free. You know, as long as I'm doing this, like instance, today's Wednesday. When I did the forecast, what did I say? Monday, July 19th. It's Wednesday, July 19th. Am I going to get bent out of shape? See, the whole thing, realize when you make a mistake, as long as you know it's not a deliberate something. It was innocent. I was in a rush today. I'm taking care of my 7-year-old that's visiting from another state. Bless her soul, Ari, my baby, that been hanging out since we were 2 years old. She's kept me busy all day today, okay? And gonna keep me busy until the rest of the time she is here in New York. Ari, come here 1 second. Let me show you. Let me show you who's gonna keep me busy. She keeps me busy. This is the one. She is full of energy. She is a Leo 1 person. I mean, this lady got so much energy. I mean, day and night and in between. Thank you, honey. Thank you very much. So this is what I'm saying. Now, I ain't trying to blame the sister because she's only 7 years old. Okay. But the point is this. You will make mistakes. So don't be hard on yourself, booby. That's the point. So anyway, your name is Salika. You're born March 8th. So you are a water sign with an earth number. That makes it perfect for you. Okay, because water and earth is nurturing. It tells me that you are a rich soil of the earth, and even the year you're born in is a 7. So you're born under the sign of Pisces, which is water. You're born in the year 1978, which adds up to 25, which is 7, which governs Pisces, and you're earth. So you're in a wonderful combination. So it tells me you're an old soul, not in a biological age. We get caught up about the age, because actually, as you get older, life gets better for you, really. So I would say that life turned around for you between your 33rd and 35th birthday. So that was not too long ago, within the last 5, 6, 7 years at best, okay? So you've always exhibited maturity. I do thank you for the donation very, very much. And your lucky numbers, by the way, are the 8, 3, and 6. And you'll find that Saturday and Thursday and Fridays are your best days. And if you notice about the one I just introduced, you haven't heard a peek out of her. That's how we roll. We've been hanging since 2 years old. We've traveled together, TV shows together. That's my girl, okay? So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, thanks, honey. So anyway, now we got Chiquita Carroll. Hi, she's October the 2nd of 92 for herself and 223 for her mom. Okay. The one thing she and her mom have in common is is the 3 and the 6. There's a difference though. She's born on October the 3rd, so she's an air sign with a fire number. Her mother is born under the sign of Pisces, which is a water sign with an air number. So one is air and fire, one is water and air. So in the case of it, with you, Chiquita, your best numbers are always the 3, 6, and 9, which tells me there's something about you with imaginative gifts, artistic and creative gifts. And in fact, if you notice, you were born in 1992, which adds to 21, and that adds to a 3, which rules Pisces, okay, which is your mother's sign. And also for your mom, her numbers tells me she's always knew somebody who knew somebody. That's how she probably may have met your dad at some social engagement. She was probably minding her business, looking all fine, sweet, and whatnot. And some guy came up there, and the rest is history. And here you are, all right. And so her numbers are the 5, 6, and 3. Your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. So you both got the 3 and the 6 together. Here's what that means. Let's say you and your mom had a falling out. Sometimes mothers and daughters do that. Well, Thursday and Friday, since those are the days you'll both share, are the days to mend fences. Your other day, other than hers, is Tuesday. Her other day, other than yours, is Wednesday. So her best days are Wednesday, followed by Friday, followed by Thursday. Your days are Thursday, followed by Friday, followed by Tuesday. But Thursdays and Fridays should always be the days that a mom and daughter should come together where y'all are on the same page, going after the same goals and objectives. 3s and 5s tells me y'all are a very popular mom and daughter couple. It also indicates when y'all have moments when you're having a bad day and she's having a bad day at the same time. I love to be a fly on the wall to see how that goes, okay? But nonetheless, basically, I would say for the most part, you are very popular, which means every time you go somewhere, they probably ask about your mother. Every time your mother goes somewhere, they probably ask about you. So anyway, thank you very, very much. And by the way, you're in a 2-person year, which means you got to be charming this year. You got to put on the panache, the finesse, you know what I'm saying? The persuasion, things of that nature. With your mother, she's in a 5. She's ready to make some changes. She ain't having it. She don't want to hear it. She wants to get off the dime and travel and go somewhere and do something different and exciting this year with her life. Next year is your turn, Miss Carol, where things begin to open up for you. All righty, I'm going to take some more. I'm enjoying this. I got to say this. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Lord, I had a lot of connections on my life. So. Okay, here's an interesting thing. This is Nancy Mills. She says, hi, Lord, I've had lots of connections throughout my life with people who are born on the 18th day. Even my granddaughter is born on the 18th, too. Do you have any insight on this birthday as she is born on the 1st of August and her life path is a 9? And what's interesting, her key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. So 9 follows her with her when she says life path, that means for those uninitiated or don't understand, she took the month, the day, and the year she's born and added those 3 factors up and then added to a 9. Even if she didn't have a 9 destiny, according to her month and date of birth, her key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. So 18 adds to 9. And with her granddaughter, 1 plus 8 is 9. So she's going to always have 9 following her in that sense. But it tells me this. Nancy is the kind of person who is always very strong-willed. In fact, the name Nancy as of the 15 that denotes money, gifts, and favors from others, that tells me you'd have made an excellent head teacher, head nurse, head counselor, head social worker, head supervisor, whatever the case is, and gave direction to people because ones don't play, okay? That's why we say a winner always comes in number 1. Like the little lady I introduced you to, she's a number 1. So ones know what they want. That is their goal. And sixes got a sense of how things should go too. So a strong will, but again, 18, as I said, notes the power of mediumship, the ability to go in and out of the visible and invisible world. Now, there's another side to 18 too. It denotes bitter quarrels, especially between family members. So you should try not to you should teach your granddaughter and your some persons you know to stay away from fights, especially if it's family quarrels, to kind of always settle a peace, because at the end of the day, you're going to need family. That's the golden rule. No one makes it out here by themselves. No one. I mean, of course, people think they can, but the reality will be one day you will need somebody and they will need you. So if we can stick to family, that will make all the difference in the world. But anyway, Nancy, thank you so much. This is Rasbeard. He says, no, Rasala, and the birthday is March the 1969. So their birthday indicates they are a fire sign with an earth number. This is the same day as Teddy Pendergrass and Dionne Warwick. Uh, Diana Ross, and the guy that wrote Star Trek, one of the guys, main characters in the old Star Trek things. But anyway, this birthday indicates young and old, and because it's an Aries 8 person, it brings a lot of intensity, fire, passion, determination, and a lot of focus when your mind is set on doing something you want to do. So the key numbers to this person are the 8, the 9, and the 6, which means Saturday, Tuesday, and Fridays are always their best days. Okay. That's how that goes. And it indicates this particular year, you are in a 9-person year that matches your sign of Aries. So Aries and Scorpios and Leos, or people born on the 9th, the 18th, or 27th will get in the mix. But because 9 can be confrontational, avoid people that want to fuss and fight and argue. And especially since July and August are your challenging months. If you have my app, a Star 8 app, it will show you that these are not your best months. And when I say not your best months, it's not that you can't get past the months. But if you ever have any problematic situations, it's almost like late June into July, late July into August. Like we have, how they have the bell curve. So for your birthday, it's like this. You're at the bottom of the bell curve. Okay. So anyway, all the best. And 8 people are very intense and loyal. Though people think you're cold, you're not cold. You just, anyway. Let me see this. When is that baby's birthday? It is July 28th, like mine. I don't know what that means, but if it's July 28th, that means you're a fire sign with a fire number. I know that much. You born the same day as Lady E. Boyd that used to visit me every week on Clubhouse. And in fact, I may be going back to Clubhouse soon. I understand they kind of changed up their dynamics, their formats, or whatever the case is. So I'll take a look at that up the road. But in the meantime, though, this is your year where you're in a 6-person year. Now, 6 is one of your challenging numbers. So it means you got to be a little bit cool. You can't be too forceful. Although Leo is a forceful sign, the number 1 is a forceful number. The tact to use this year is not so much force, but as a sense of teamwork and cooperation and camaraderie with other people. Because you might be misinterpreted as being selfish when your natural instinct is to have your own best interests at heart. But this year it's about family and taking care of other people around you other than just yourself. It also indicates this year being a person of your word. Okay, don't be talking stuff and don't be, backing it up. So you got to bank what you say. It's just that simple. Okay, but your key numbers are the 149. And by the way, your birthday suggests you may wear glasses because you have sensitive eyes to bright sunlight. Now, this is Coco, who is born on the 15th of September. So they're earth sign with an earth number, which means they're very, very steadfast. They would be slow to move, slow to make their decisions, very stuck in their ways. And I noticed one thing about 6s. They will rush everybody out the door and they're the last one to get themselves out the door. What's that about? But then again, they're earth. So earth moves slow. It doesn't move fast like water. It doesn't move fast like a fire or a breeze like air. Earth prods along. So that may explain why. And I know there's 4s do that too. I don't know what it is about 6s and 4s, but in my observation of doing this so many years, they're the ones who will rush you out the door and they're the last one to get out the door themselves. This particular year, you're in a 4 personal year. So this year is going to be a bit more challenging since 4 is one of your major opposition numbers. Okay. And so when I do that, I'm just saying, take your time, make sure you organize, have a plan of action, create a blueprint, and go by that step by step. 6s normally like to do things in a kind of more expansive way, family way. But this year it says you must handle your business. You must stay within the limits or the boundaries or restrictions and whatnot. But it is designed to make you grow to appreciate by the same time next year. You can appreciate it. And in fact, over this year, it's going to actually start late September, October, about a week or 2 weeks after your birthday. And the next 2 years, I will hitch my wagon to your star. Because in 2024, you'll be in a 5. And then in 2025, you'll be in a 6 personal year that matches your birthday exactly. Okay. Anyway, all the best. And again, your numbers are the 6, 9, and 5. And it's Friday, followed by Wednesday, followed by Tuesday. So always your besties. Okay. All righty. Let's see. Let me take some more people here. I'm not going to stay on too long. And let me do Maxine. Thanks so much for the donation, Maxine. She is a Scorpio 5 person. That means she's a water sign with an air number. And that tells me she's the kind of person that would like to travel. She would like to be on the go. This particular year is about making some major changes in your life. And I'm not focused about the year she's born in. You know, we think in this country, you know, it's interesting. Anytime you get outside of this country, the older you get, the more respected you become. Because they know, as Richard Pryor says, you don't be old being no fool. It's impossible. Okay. So I'm just saying that to say that although she may be at that age in the late 60s or early 70s, basically, for the most part, her heart, her spirit, her mind, her attitude is always younger. And I'm willing to bet you dollar to donuts, I can't prove it. She probably had some young men hit on her in the past, which is none of my business. But it wouldn't surprise me either. Your numbers, Maxine, are always the 5, 9, and 6. And your best days are always on a Wednesday, followed by a Tuesday, followed by a Friday in that particular order. And thanks so much for the donation. I noticed she donated $5 since she's born on the 14th, which is a 5. Okay, I'm going to take about 3 more. This is Black Butterfly, and she is born February the 1st. So she's an air sign with a fire number. So that tells me she's a tough cookie. Born the same day as my buddy King Simon, too. So that tells me now her Aries is North Node, her Libra is in the South Node, her Moon is in Leo, or Leo rules the number 1. So that tells me if you're going to deal with this sister, you got to come ready. I'm sure she's put a lot of people in check. Not a lot of people, but I'm sure she put 1 or 2 people in check that thought they could do anything they wanted to. It doesn't work like that. And she will find that her best days are always on a Sunday and a Tuesday. And the most important numbers are the 1, the 4, and the 9. Now, let me just go back 1 second. I'm going to go to this person, TT. Hey, Lloyd, my name is Jordan Rashard Bailey. They're born December the 7th of 1998. Please explain. I've had a hard life, shot 3 times and crossed by a lot of people. Now, that's interesting because you're a fire sign with a water number. So when you said shot 3 times, obviously you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I would say maybe depends on the environment. But let me tell you this. Sometimes, as I was explaining earlier, I was blessed to be born in a wonderful environment with a loving mother and father, a wonderful brother and sister. To this day, we're very, very tight. And so I happen to be blessed like that. But I also explained you have people that come out of situations and environments that, man, it's a wonder that they made it. And yet they wind up being rising stars on the planet. And I'm saying you may have to look at yourself, Jordan, as one of those that's been through all of this to make something of yourself on the next level, on a high level. All righty. So just don't let, because you've been through that, and stop saying hard times. Think, because especially in the year of the 7 and you're number 7, this deals with the law of attraction. I'm telling you, you being a 7, Jordan, and this being the year of the 7, and it governs the law of attraction. If you keep thinking you got hard times, that's how you're going to end up the year of 2023, buddy. So I'm saying, if you change your plans, you'll change the game. It's just that simple. So it might be, despite all the things you've gone through, where it's like, yo, man, it's like, what's up? See yourself being at your best, see yourself being prosperous, and hold on to that image, because in the law of attraction, what you hold on to, that's why everybody needs to use their thinking this year. What you're putting in your mind is what you're going to manifest through yourself. And it's not just you, Jordan, it's everyone that's viewing this show tonight. So I'm saying that if you want what you want and you want your life to be less hard, don't focus on the hard part. You focus on the beneficiary part, the fact that you're still living. That's a blessing. Because if you shot, you could have been killed, much less 3 times. You could have been shot and killed 3 times. Not that you died 3 times. You only make it once. But the fact that maybe it was designed to bring out your resilience or something of that nature. Obviously, it was for something, for a reason. But whatever that reason is, focus on the good side and not on what you've been through, but what you want to become, what you desire. And that is by holding on to the image on the mental screen of your mind, especially in a 7 personal year. And not only that, but then you're in an 8 personal year too. So that simply means now is the time to really raise the bar, raise your expectations, to do things on a great level. All righty. So by the way, your lucky numbers are the 7, 2, and 3, and Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays are your best days. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more. And this is Chaniqua Himes, December 13th. This is Jamie Foxx's birthday, the one that's been in question about his health and stuff like that. Anyway, 4s are always hard to diagnose. And don't forget, when he was ill, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. If you are number 4 or number 8, you are the 2 numbers out of all of them from 1 to 9 that tend to be misdiagnosed or misunderstood medically by the profession and misunderstood by people in general. Okay. And once you know that, then you don't get bent out of shape if people are not rolling with you, don't understand you initially. And it tells me you're also very sensitive. But it tells me this is your year to make some changes. You're in a 5 personal year, and 5 is one of the stress numbers a little bit to the sign of Sagittarius. But nonetheless, there's similarities as long as y'all are not overdoing it at the same time. So the key numbers are your 4, your 1, your 3, and you'll find that Sunday and Monday and Thursdays are always your best days. And you also indicate you like to think outside the box too, which is why I call the 4 the number of secret enemies, jealousy, envy, insecurity, but they're just ahead of the curve. That's all. I'm going to take one more, and then I'm going to ask my little assistant for us to sign off. Okay. This is my last call. This is Etienne, I think. I know I'm a 8. That is true because you're born on the 17th of the month, and I'm in a 22 personal year. But I want to know more about my life path and what are my best days. First of all, your key numbers working backwards, so the 8, 2, and 7. This is, people that are born on the 17th are your money makers. J.P. Morgan was born on the 17th. John D. Rockefeller, that's his birthday right there. Muhammad Ali, they got millions once he started fighting, born on the 17th. If you look at Michael Jordan, the sneakers wasn't selling like I was at Pro Kids or something like that. Then when Michael Jordan came on the scene, he started, to this day, how long has he been out the game? About 20 years. He's still making money. So that means you too have the ability to make money. And then if you are a master number, if you're in a master number 22 personal year, let me see if that is correct. 7, 17, 20, 23. That's 17. That's 402. From the way I calculated, you're in a 4 personal year. But whatever the case is, it means get yourself structured and organized. But if you were in a 22, it means to whom much is given, much is required, and therefore don't be surprised if more is expected of you seemingly than what you're willing to deliver or can deliver. And it also indicates people from your past, and since you're in a 4 personal year, it means you'll draw Aquarians. If it's a master number 22 year, it'll be Aquarius and Leos, as well as those under the sign of Gemini being drawn to you, as well as people born on the 1st or the 4th. Okay. And your lucky numbers again are the 8, the 2, and the 7. And your best days are always on a Saturday, followed by a Friday, followed by a Monday, in that order. All right. And again, I'm going to just take one more, as I says, and I'll take this one here. You silly beats. June the 16th. Now, this is Tupac's birthday. In fact, I was reading something. They supposedly going to find out who finally shot and killed the brother. And then there's a piece that was done about his father or something like that. It's a movie out. I don't go to watch movies or watch TV that much, but I'll catch up. But anyway, your numbers indicates you are the strong silent type, very articulate because Gemini is the sign of communications. 7 is the number of analysis and investigations. So when you put those two combinations together, you can be a very, very deep person going down a rabbit hole, trying to get to the answers of why people do the things they do. And in fact, question yourself why you do the things you do as well. And since this is the year of the 7 and you are a 7 and you happen to be in a 2 personal year, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. 7, 14. Yes, you're in a 2 personal year or 11 personal year, all depending on how you do it. It tells me you got to be patient this year. You got to exercise some diligence. But in a way, it's good because your key numbers are the 7, followed by the number 2, the personal year you're in, followed by the number 5. And so that would be it there too. So everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. Let me sign off with this. Let me do this. People have asked about, I'm going to give my banner. I keep forgetting, but this is it here. Okay, that's Lloyd Strayhorn. That's me. Thank you. Astronumerologist. I'm an author. My site is lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's where you go. And when you go to the site, click on the link tree. It's linktree.com/numbers and you. You'll see how to sign up for the free monthly newsletter, download the app for yourself, take the online courses. Everything is right there for you on that. The Cash App is $numbers in you. That is my signature on almost everything I do is numbers in you, numbers in you. So I do want to thank the hosts of the producers of this show, the sponsor of this show, the Sisters of the Traveling Spread. STShealing.com is where you go to sign up. It's closing in very soon. STShealing.com. All right. And I do want to thank the producers. That is Jackie Barrios and Jazz Centilla, who actually been working with me for the last couple of years to create the website, to create the whole look, especially with purple, which I like. Although I haven't been wearing no purple lately, but believing that is still my favorite color on the planet. And but this is, I'm asking everybody to please. And by the way, whether you are an Android user or an Apple user, when you go there, please leave a comment. Leave a comment. I noticed that they put comments of those when it wasn't working. You know, okay, it still bugs to work out, but they just seem to focus on those more. And from what I get, people are really enjoying the app. So please go to star8.com. And as you see, it's been an update because now you'll see my daily forecast will be coming out there. And then I'm working on the tutorial next to really explain everything in detail. So for you Android users, this is where you go. When you enroll, leave a comment. For you Apple users, this is where you go. Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? And also for those of you who want to do the audiobook, this is available. Just go to my website, download it. And so for those of you who don't want to read but want to listen while you're traveling or listen while you're in bed or just relaxing or doing things around the house, and it is in my voice. I recorded every single page. Thank you. It took me over a week to do. It's not easy. Okay. It may sound easy, but it's not. And also I need to thank Kimberly Williams too for really putting together this podcast. The podcast is whole across the country in different parts of the world now. But these shows and guests that I've had on, you can now hear those interviews in full, thanks to Kimberly Williams. And of course, please sign up for the free monthly newsletter. Alrighty. July, we still got a couple more days. No, about maybe 2 weeks to go before July is over. And for those of you who want to follow me on TikTok, I was just introduced to TikTok a couple of months ago. Very interesting. Don't quite understand it all yet, but I know it's very interesting. And just go to, as I said, my signature is always numbers in you. And I must sign off by thanking my good buddy, King Simon. So, young lady, Ari, come, please. We're going to sign off now. So y'all know this is my baby. This is my baby right here. So we're going to say goodbye to you, right?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Everybody, you all have a nice weekend. Y'all take good care of yourselves. This lady's been keeping me busy, but boy, is it worth it. You know what I'm saying? So all of you, you take good care of yourself. Love you much. Thank you, honey. Thank you, darling. Okay, she said she's ready to go back to what she's doing. Everybody, you all have a nice day. Take good care. Until then.